Okay, everything seems to be up and running. I need to just check my audio before we proceed. Okay, I am audible. Okay, everything seems to be fine. If there's any issues, please do let me know, guys, in the chat. So, good morning, afternoon, evening to wherever you may be in the world. Welcome to Aero League Racing Season 18, Tier 4 Blue round. Welcome to ALR Season 18, GR3 Championship, Tier 4 Blue, Round 1, around Dragon Trail Gardens. I'm gonna get this right over the course of time. Hello, Harshil Kapadia. Nice to have you in the chat with us. Please do let me know which one of, if you are one of the drivers in the field here. Increase mic volume? Absolutely. I have. Right. Is it better now? I think it should be better. Hello, Anto. I hope my audio is a little better now. So, yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I'm using a new microphone, so yeah. All right, we have a lot of drivers here in the chat with us. Thank you, Anto and Harshil, for letting me know that there's a little bit of an issue with my mic. So, hello, T. Morrison. Good to see you on pole and good to see you in the chat here. So, let's go through the grid before we start the the sprint race. So, we have T. Morrison on pole in the Mercedes. Is followed by the Jag of Tetropolis, who is sporting the new Jag logo. That is nice to see, something different. Zelda in P3 in the GTR. Gin Tonics is fourth in the Genesis. Abhi, my former teammate, is P5 in the BMW. NTO in the other Mercedes is in P6 with a, I think, in memoriam livery. Have I made a mistake? Is that meant for me or somebody else? Do let me know. Captain Adam. I was wondering how to say that. Captain Adam is. Oh, is the Purple Beast. Is that what you would like to term the cars? The Mercedes duo. Alright, the Purple Beasts are P1 and P6. And behind the second Purple Beast is Captain Adam in the Porsche. Black Charizard in the other BMW is P8. HK is P9. And Slavman in the other Jag is P10. How do I say that? Moncon 1 in the three Mercedes cars? Am I making a bit? No, there's two Mercedes cars, yeah. A little bit out of touch for a while. The other Mercedes is P11. Juho Finn in the McLaren is P12. Cleef in the Audi is 13th. Revolit is in the other McLaren is 14th. GAP in the other Genesis is 15th. So quite a ways behind the teammate. I think it is Gin Tonics in the other Genesis and Schumacher. How would you go about it? Anyways, Schumacher in the Genesis, in the Mercedes is in 16th. All right, I will get used to it with over the next few rounds, but nonetheless, 10 laps ahead of the drivers. Let's go. 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights will signal the start of the race, and when the lights go out, it's lights out and they're off. It seems to be, oh, there's been a bit of contact there for the back. I think Anto just mentioned that Gin Tonics has had a shocking start, but what a start for the Purple Beast. The Mercedes has just blasted past into the lead comfortably. Zelda in P2. Abhi's got a good start in P3, but what a shocking start for, I think it would be Gin Tonics. What's happened? From 4th, I believe it was down to 15th, but that's going to be an increase of 1 position. What's happened to Tetropolis here? I think it was in P4. P5, let's have a look. So battling away with HK, Harshil, I believe that is the correct name. So he's been tagged from the back by his own teammate, I believe, is it? Let's have a look at the Jag. I think we'll have a look here. So Tetropolis and HK side by side, approaching turn, I want to call it turn 2. Let's have a look what happens here. Oh, that is golden rule of racing. Do not make contact with your teammate. And unfortunately, that's not going to plan there for the Jag drivers. But the field is still very closely bunched together. And it's been a great start for Juho Finn. I think it was 15th up to, or no, it was 13th up to P7. So that's a great start. Let's have a look. If he's going to break a bit late, it's breaking a little bit too late here for Juho Finn. Goes completely off circuit, loses a couple of positions in the process, and we saw JP losing traction there at the exit of the corner. stays in 13th. Further back, let's see. So Gin Tonics will be wanting to move up the field rather rapidly. We have some side-by-side action. We have a car spinning. That's one of the Mercedes. That's NTO. Well held there, NTO, but I don't think that your confidence will be boosted by that spin in any case. I think that was just... was that contact with another driver? Let's have a look. So from the back of the field, Schumacher is up into P9. What a stellar start for Schumacher there. Now that's NTO just clipping the grass there and having a spin all on their own. No contact being made by with anybody else. Let's have a look if Joe Finn and JP will trade positions going into this corner. They seem to. There's a bit of contact there. Joe Finn won't be very happy with that. The Genesis driver moves up into 11th. The McLaren down to P12. And now we approach the double left-hander 90-degree corners. I wanted to say left-hander, right-hander. That was going to get a bit complicated there. Right-angled corner, yeah. Nonetheless, I will get used to this in due course of time. Schumacher up to P7. Moncon loses a position there to the Mercedes driver. As the enemy battles further back, we see Cleef trying to gain P12, which Joe Finn presently is occupying. Gin Tonics in 14th, has not been able to make the move there. Further back, Tetrapolis will be looking for a bit of redemption here after that very unfortunate start to lap 1. NTO after that spin will also be looking for some redemption. I think it's Joe Finn getting a little bit out of shape there in the battle with Cleef. Let's have Cleef. I don't think it's Cleef, it's Cleef. I think I'm saying it all wrong. Up front though, Abhi is in a good position. HK and Captain Adam seem to be battling for a little while there, but this is the battle that's really heating up. It's the battle for P7, I want to call it. No, P8. My apologies. Moncon, Black Charizard, Revolut, and JP. So Joe Finn is, I think, just a little bit out of touch with the field right now. The rest of the field right now. Gin Tonics is being hassled by Khalif right now. I think they've swapped positions. NTO will be looking to do something similar. NTO and Tetrapolis have swapped positions, so the Jag and the Mercedes swapping positions. And Gin Tonics going a little bit wide there to the corner, but getting a good exit. Let's have a look up front. Are we going to see any moves being made into the left-handers? No, doesn't seem like it. Oh, that's Moncon going very, very wide there. And Black Charizard. Oh, there seemed to be a little bit of phantom contact there maybe between the pair of them, but Black Charizard has got a much better exit compared to the Mercedes of Moncon. As we start lap 3 of 10, let's see if the BMW can make a move, sends it out the inside. Moncon cannot do a whole lot in terms of defense and loses the position to Black Charizard. That's a good opportunistic move by Black Charizard, making the most of an unfortunate exit of the last corner for Moncon. Let's have a look at Revolut and JP. Joe Finn has caught up the back of the Genesis, and I think he's got a better exit here. Joe Finn will be looking to make the move, I think, into the next braking zone. It should be relatively easy given that they have the inside line, although look at who's joining the party here. Gin Tonics has been slightly forced onto the grass there, I think. Joe Finn breaks a little earlier there. Oh my word, NTO comes steaming down the inside and causes a bit of an issue, or was that somebody else who tagged NTO? So Tetrapolis behind NTO. Let's have a look. So NTO has just missed his braking point there. Yep, NTO hits Joe Finn, Gin Tonics, Khalif, everybody has a bit of a moment there. Tetrapolis moves up to 14th. Khalif just slices past the pack, but all these guys will be pretty damn upset about NTO's dive there. Joe Finn, Gin Tonics, and so on. But wow, that is super unfortunate for the likes of them. That is a very unexpected crash there. Black Charizard and Moncon battling away. So we saw them swap positions at the start of this lap. Are we going to see any more positions being swapped? Let's have a look here. Captain Adam and HK getting a bit close. What about Abhi? Okay, the top 3 are as they are. Abhi is not able to challenge Zelda as of now. Black Charizard and Moncon. Let's have a look at this. Oh, not the best of exits for the Mercedes driver, and I think Black Charizard will start lap 4 with a bit of peace of mind, knowing that Moncon will not be able to attack into turn 1. Schumacher is, I think, settling into a bit of a rhythm here, not too close to Slavman right now, but what a start from, I'm pretty sure Schumacher started 16th, so moved up 9 positions. That is a stellar way to start your race, and that will bode well for the rest of the feature as well. Let's have a look. Are there any battles going on? For the back, I'm expecting to see some frustrated drivers trying to make some moves, make some inroads. Geofen, Tetrapolis and Gin Tonics will be pretty eager to make some inroads, given that they've just had a bit of a moment. Oh, Schumacher had a quali ban. Wasn't aware of that. They started 16th, but still that's a pretty good way to start your race, moving all the way up to P7 within a few laps. But nonetheless, that's a great way to recover from a quali ban. Tetrapolis and Geofen very, very close to one another. So are Revolut and Kilis. Up front, JP is a little too far back from Moncon. Moncon does not seem to have bridged the gap to Charizard by a whole lot. As we start lap 5, are we going to see any moves being made here? Slavman and Captain Adam. Adam goes a little bit wide there, but I think they should all be line astern as they are, holding positions into lap 5. Up front, T. Morrison in... Do I call it the Purple Beast, or is that just a internal joke, internal gag going on here? It sounds like a pretty badass title, I must say, for the Mercedes guys, but bouncing over the curb goes T. Morrison. That will give Zelda a bit of some initiative to try and launch an attack into the next braking zone, maybe sending it down the inside, trying to force the switch back. Let's have a look. Both of them are trying to figure out what the other one wants to do and cover it off simultaneously. Zelda stays in third for now. Abhi's in a bit of a race of his own right now. HK and Captain Adam are getting feisty. This is getting pretty interesting. Let's see if there's any moves being made here. HK trying for a move. Captain Adam blocks it off. The Porsche seems to be having a tough time in regards to keeping the GTR at bay. HK is very, very feisty here. Slavman might be looking to pick up the pieces here from this little skirmish. If these two lose time ahead of him, he will definitely be, I think, moving up into P4 without too many issues. Schumacher trying to make the move on Slavman and makes it so. Well done to Schumacher, moves up into P6. Schumacher's now gone up 10 positions, and what's going on here? Captain Adam has gone a bit deeper in that corner. That's going to open up the door for HK. HK moves up into P4, but Captain Adam's still there, getting into the slipstream, trying to make the move and get back into P4, the position that he's just lost here. Let's have a look if he can do so. Adam goes to the inside of turn 1. It's a long sweeping left-hander. It's very easy to take. It's possible to take different lines, so it's very easy to try and fool your rival into making a bit of a mistake here. HK, I think there's a bit of elbows out racing between these two, and Schumacher will be very happy seeing that. Bounces over the curb there, and alright, I understand that, Anto. That's a nice way to go about it. Yes, the two different Mercedes models here. Let's have a look. HK and Captain Adam. So Purple Beast is I think it's GTR 16. That's the correct car. HK with a fantastic switch back there, moves up into P4. Well done. Captain Adam seems to be struggling a little bit in this middle half of the race. Who is that? That's Slavman trying to send it down the inside. Schumacher and Slavman make a little bit of contact. However, I think it should still be smooth sailing for the pair of them. No, it is not. Schumacher's not had smooth sailing. He's actually sailing the wrong way. Oh my word, that is super, super close to disaster with Moncon, I think it was. Yes. Schumacher, who was... So I think it was about time that the commentator's curse came into play. 6 laps into the first race of the season. I've been praising Schumacher since the get-go of the race, since lap 1 I think, that he's made up quite a few positions, and he's now down to P15. Very unfortunate way for his race to unfold there. Let's have a look. Captain Adams seems to be a little bit out of shape here. I think Charizard might have a chance at staging an attack in the next few corners, possibly. Let's have a look. Adam goes onto the grass, onto the curbing, loses some momentum, and will have to defend against Charizard. Let's see if Charizard sends one on the inside. Does not. And through the next section of corners, this little chicane section is pretty tricky to get right, and the BMW versus the Porsche should be I think Adam should have it covered off for this corner at least, unless Charizard sends an almighty right on the inside. I don't think he's going to do that, and Charizard will hold position for now. HK will be a bit happy about that. It's good showing for HK. Abhi is in a race of his own right now. This is the battle. They've been battling away since I think lap 3 possibly. Morrison and Zelda. The Purple Beast versus the GTR. Let's have a look if on this occasion there's going to be a move being made possibly by the GTR, trying to force Morrison into making a bit of a mistake. Let's see the double left-hander. And no, everything seems to be fine and dandy for T. Morrison. He's got a slightly better exit. Trying to break the slipstream there, Morrison, as we start lap 8. And Zelda will hold position. Morrison. I think this shows that Zelda is able to put Morrison under quite a bit of pressure right now if Morrison had to break the slipstream that many times over the course of the main straight. Let's have a look into this chicane we go. Let's see if there's going to be any potential moves being made here. Morrison bounces over the curb there but holds position. Zelda is not able to do a whole lot. Further back, Captain Adam has been overtaken by Charizard, and Charizard now up into P5, Adam down to P6. Slavman Monster, what's going on here? Jihofin and Tetrapolis battling away. So the field further back has been really shuffled up, I must say, and I can see that I think over the course of the season drivers are not going to be afraid to go elbows out. Tetrapolis and Jihofin were banging wheels there. JP goes a little bit deep into that corner. That's going to open up the door for these two, Tetrapolis and Jihofin. However, I think JP will still have it covered off for the time being. We go through this section. This is where we saw Schumacher make the mistake, obviously. So if you remember a few laps ago, NTO and the Purple Beast will be looking to make some moves, make the most of these guys ahead of them battling, and tries to go for a move around the outside of Jihofin, and that's a great way to make the move if he's able to make it stick. There's a bit of contact there, NTO and Jihofin, and NTO's got the move made. What a great way to set up the move there for NTO. However, I'm not sure what is the problem here with NTO's car, because look at the state of their front right tire. It's not in shambles, but I think it should get to the end of the race just barely. Up ahead though, this is getting feisty. JP and Tetrapolis trying to make amends for that unfortunate moment on lap 1. Jihofin and NTO battling away, and yeah, it's really amazing to see the battle for P12. Sorry, between P9 and P12. It's a bit not able to see the whole comment there, but yeah, this is racing you love to watch. NTO and the Purple Beast will try to gain 2 positions in one corner, provided that these two come to blows. Let's have a look. NTO brakes late, tries to go for a move around the outside, but no, tries to go for the switchback here. Gets past JP, although JP is still there in contention. The two teammates, the two Genesis guys, Gintonics and JP, are running line astern right now. I think Jin might try to force a switchback on his teammate right now. No, that is not the way you want your battling with your teammate to go. Jihofin gets ahead and Jin is into the gravel. Schumacher moves ahead, Revolut moves ahead, and yeah, indeed, it's a great move by NTO. It's a very timely switchback that is made there. Jihofin up into P11. JP will be a bit upset having made contact with his teammate there. That is pretty unfortunate, but it is the last lap of the race. It is going to be the last lap of the race right now for our leaders, whom I'm going to switch over to in a moment. Captain Adam and HK still battling away. This is getting feisty. So Charizard has, I think Charizard is in a good position here. Slavman a little too far back to make any moves. HK and Captain Adam trying to hassle one another, trying to break late, do a few timely switchbacks. Captain Adam is in P5 for now. Up front, Abhi has got to Zelda, so Zelda could not hold on to the back of the Purple Beast in P1. Let's have a look here what's going to happen between HK, Slavman and Captain Adam. Slavman tries to go for the move, breaks late, has the outside line. HK has the inside line. HK and Slavman side by side as we go through this twisty section. Are we going to see any moves being made? Slavman, I think, will have to make the move stick. Or will... No, I think Slavman, yeah. Slavman will make the move stick on Harshal through this twisty section. Captain Adam has taken P5 here, right at the end after a nice timely move. However, the battle is not over yet between Slavman and HK. Let's see if we're gonna see any moves being made into the final left-handed. No, Abhi will hold position. Charizard. It's a good result for the BMW team. Are we going to see any moves being made here between HK and Slavman? Possibly HK trying to see if Slavman goes a bit deep into the corner. Nope, Slavman gets a good exit and they will hold position. T. Morrison wins from Zelda. Abhi in P3, Charizard in P4, Captain Adam finishes P5, Slavman in P6, HK will be P7. Moncon will hold up Tetrapolis to finish P8, and I saw position swap right at the end here between, I think it was JP and Juhofin. What's happened to Juhofin here? Oh, Juhofin got a bit of a spin. I was wondering what happened to Juhofin here. So it's an unfortunate end for the McLaren driver. NTO finishes in P10 after that unfortunate run-in at the hairpin. JP in 11th, Schumacher is 12th, Revolit is in 13th, Gin Tonics 14th, Juhofin will finish 15th, and Khalif will be 16th. So a pretty unfortunate end to the race for the Genesis duo of Jin and I think it's I'm still not used to the names right now. JP, yeah, JP and Jin. Now let's move on to the feature race. So it should be interesting to see what the strategies are like. And thank you to Juhofin for uploading the replay and to Jin for uploading the sprint replay. Thank you. It's quite a bit appreciated. So let's see how the feature goes. We have, if I'm not wrong, it's 30 laps. Not 30 laps. Let me just verify that very quickly. 26 laps. All right. So having finished 10th in the sprint, NTO will start the race from the lead, and it's a rolling start obviously, and NTO is on the hards. Tetrapolis right behind is on the mediums in the Jag. Moncon in the Mercedes is on the mediums. HK also on the mediums. So is Slavman. So is Captain Adam. And Black Charizard is on the hards. Let's see what his teammate has done. Alright, the two BMWs have gone for the same strategy. Hards for the pair of them. Zelda in 9th is also on the hards. Morrison, who won the in the Purple Beast, who won the sprint race, is starting the feature on the mediums. So we don't seem to have anybody on the softs unless somebody further back has gone for a bit of an aggressive strategy. JP on the mediums, so is Schumacher. Revolit is in 13th on the hards. Gin Tonics on the mediums. Juhofin on the mediums as well. And Khalif rounds off the grid also on the mediums. So let's go racing. The lights will not show up on the screen. We'll have to wait for the audio cues. And for the drivers, when the lights go out, they go racing, which should be about now. Tetrapolis seems to have got a better launch, although NTO will still hold position. I don't expect to see too many moves being made here unless somebody's not got a very good launch of the lights. It seems to be like that HK and Slavman are going to be battling it out into the chicane here. Let's see if there's any moves being made. There is indeed a move being made. Moncon gets past Tetrapolis. HK is having to defend against the Jag. Captain Adam tries to make the most of this little skirmish here and get fast up into P5, but has to hold position for now. They are running side by side, Slavman and Captain Adam. Charizard might look to make the most of this. Abhi is battling away with Zelda. This is getting so feisty. There's so many battles to follow. So do forgive me if I make a few mistakes here. Charizard tries to go for the move. Zelda goes very, very wide. Zelda goes off the circuit. Abhi's had a bit of a spin there, and that is Moncon. Oh my word. Moncon, who had a stellar start up into P2, has there been some contact with the Tetrapolis, or has Moncon just spun all on their own? So Moncon has lost rear end, and that is such an unfortunate way for his race to go. What happened to Abhi? I think Abhi's also been tagged possibly in that little close battle here. Jin moves up into P10. Abhi falls down the order. Morrison has only gained one position from his starting position of P10. Abhi has been slightly tagged by Revolit, although I think there's not a lot of trouble as a result of that. Let's see if Abhi is overtaken by Revolit. Revolit sends it down the inside. Abhi has slightly been forced off circuit there, and Abhi will be under threat from Juhofin as well, possibly losing another position, although he gets a good exit, so might be able to launch a bit of an attack on the McLaren. Up front though, it is getting very feisty. NTO and Tetrapolis battling away. Slavman and Captain Adam were a bit close as well. Zelda and Morrison. Zelda has to let Morrison by. The Purple Beast up into P8. So it's P1 and P8 for the Purple Beasts. Gintonics is in a good position, in quite a good place here, trying to make a move on Zelda. Let's have a look if they can do so. Gintonics, no, I don't think the Genesis will give him enough grip through the corner. Genesis is great in a straight line. I think that's what I remember at least. Genesis is pretty good in a straight line, but the cornering is not usually been one of its strengths. Morrison trying to get past JP, so Morrison won the sprint in pretty dominant fashion, but in a comfortable manner. Let's see, he's gonna go for a move here, Morrison, into the left-handed hairpin. Zelda goes a bit deep there, and who is that? That is Captain Adam. What has happened here? So battling away with Slavman. Has there been some contact, or is it once again a case of this corner catching drivers out? I'm not exactly sure. It looked like he made contact, but it's also it's a bit difficult to figure out, and respectfully waits for the other drivers to pass. Schumacher's had a pretty shocking start to the race, down in 16th right now, so not sure what's happened to Schumacher there. This is getting feisty. Khalif versus Abhi versus Moncon. Moncon presently in P14 after that unfortunate spin. Abhi's just been a victim of some elbows out racing. He's lost a few positions, but I think the biggest gainer in all this might have to be Gintonics. Up front, Morrison trying to make some moves. Charizard and JP will be battling it out, so if Morrison gets a good exit, he might be able to size up a move into the first corner and gets a decent exit. Charizard's P6 might be there for the taking. Eating up the words there, and yes, the battle for the lead. Wow, this is getting feisty. 4 cars battling it away. NTO, Tetrapolis, Slavman and HK. HK and Slavman have been at it since the get-go. Thank you, Anto, for letting me know that. I was going to focus on the battle for P5, P6 there, but it's great to see. This is getting so feisty. It's great to watch. HK seems to be picking up some momentum here, trying to make a move on Tetrapolis into this left-hander. Let's have a look. The mediums on the GTR versus the, I think it's mediums on the Jag as well. What about the leader? The leader NTO is on the hards. HK, let's see if we can make a move. Tetrapolis. So the two Jaguars are P2 and P4 right now. Should be interesting to see what they can do. I think they can work in tandem. HK almost loses the rear end there. Almost said goodbye to P3, but held it together in the end. This is also there's battles up and down the field. You love to see it. You love to see close battles, no matter what position it may be for. JP, I think, clipped the grass or maybe went a bit deep into the corner. Yep, just went a bit deep there. Morrison gets the inside line, and there is a little hint of contact, I think, yeah, between these two, JP and Morrison. P5 and P6, this is some great side-by-side racing, but I think JP will have to yield for now. Morrison moves up in P5 in the Purple Beast. Charizard in P7 will have to hold off Zelda. So the GTR looks very feisty here. Tetrapolis trying to hassle NTO as we are about to start lap 4, not P4. We are about to start lap 4 of this race. All that time you have to leave a space, says Anto. As we start lap 4, are we gonna see something here? Let's have a look. Tetrapolis trying to rid NTO of that P1. Let's see if Tetrapolis can be successful in that endeavor as we go into the braking zone. That's some great racing. HK, this is the perfect time for HK to just go for the perfect switch, and Tetrapolis has lost it. Lost the rear end into the wall, but what happened there exactly? It doesn't seem like there was any contact there, so this is some great racing, some great camera angles as well. I'm not sure how to change the camera angle on demand, but we can see here battling away with the Purple Beast. Tetrapolis, I think, just slightly tagged by HK, or maybe it was just loss of traction there, but Tetrapolis P2 was in P2, now down to P10, falling down the order towards the back of the grid, and wow, that would have been almost a code brown for Schumacher there. Gintonics trying to make some moves, trying to get past Zelda. And will he be successful in doing so? Gin Tonics, not on this occasion at least, unless he can get a good run through this twisty section. Let's have a look if the Genesis and the GTR are going to swap positions here. It doesn't seem like it. Zelda, I think, will hold position. We will focus on the battle for the lead here. HK and Slavman now up into P2, getting past the GTR of HK. So this is getting feisty. NTO is in the lead, but the gap to P2 and P3 is minuscule. Slavman trying to go for a move down the inside. NTO cannot do a whole lot. He's on the hards. Slavman on the mediums, of course. So is HK. HK trying to go for the switchback, and HK makes it stick. HK now up into P1, but the battle is not over yet. There is nothing separating these two. Actually, they are very close. Their car doors were hitting one another. I don't know. Can I say side pod? That's what we say in F1 terminology. So side pod banging there going on between Slavman and HK. HK trying to go for a move. Jag versus GTR, and the two Purple Beasts are in formation. NTO has had a pretty good run up the field, and sorry, wait, what am I missing here? Sorry, Morrison is in P3, NTO in P4. So it's great to see the two Purple Beasts together, and I think these two will also be battling it out. They are on the different compounds. So okay, I think I've missed something here. Yeah, okay, so yeah, I got a bit mixed up there. So Morrison did pass NTO there. So NTO let Morrison, but yeah, I didn't notice that at first. So well done, good teamwork. It's always good to see teammates working together very well. NTO unfortunately now will come under pressure from JP, who's on the mediums. This is gonna get very feisty. Morrison started in P10 up into P3 and can see the two ahead of him battling it out, and battling it out in a very aggressive manner as well. So all it'll take is a timely move. That was a little bit of contact between Morrison and HK. I think it should not be an issue for either of them. But Morrison's up into P2. The only car between Morrison and the lead right now is the Jaguar of Slavman. HK is pretty quick, but Morrison seems to have the edge for the time being as we go into this double right-hander. Triple right-hander actually. Quadruple right-hander? I don't know. Would this constitute as a continuous series of corners? I think it would. Morrison is in a very good position to attack Slavman to the first corner of this racetrack. I think he's trying to force Slavman into going a bit deep there. HK and Morrison make a bit of contact. HK will try to barge past into P2, but no, Morrison has it covered off for now. NTO has been able to hold off JP, so well done to NTO for holding off the charge of the Genesis driver. Charizard in P6. Gin Tonics will be on the offensive as well. So both Genesis guys are on the offensive, although JP's tires seem to be in slightly worse nick than Jin's. Let's have a look. NTO has left the door open, but JP would not have been able to make that stick without losing a whole lot of time to go ahead and behind. NTO is, I think, just trying to make the most of his strategy right now, because he's on the hards. Most of those around him are on the mediums, save for Black Charizard, who has just lost the position to Gin Tonics. I think alright, JP going for the move on NTO. JP making the move stick as well. So does Jin. So the same corner, that same left-hander has been very beneficial for the two Genesis guys. They've made moves, and they seem to be getting up the field pretty well. Although with that tire wear being the way it is, I don't think JP goes off track. I'm not sure what's the problem with the Genesis. It just does not seem to be providing ample grip through the corners. It's very quick in a straight line, but there seems to be some trouble for these two, JP and Jin. Let's have a look if JP can regain the position. We saw JP go off track from Jin's on board there. Into this left-hander we go, double left-hander. Can NTO do anything about it? NTO should focus on the exit at this point, but no, JP's compromised it. And this is another example of teamwork here. The two Genesis guys are working together to make sure that NTO has a bit of a troublesome start to lap 7. JP will see to it that he helps out Jin as much as he can. Although NTO still seems to be in contention, not for long. I think Jin has got the inside line and Jin will try to go for the move here. Although NTO does cut him off, Jin will be looking to go for the inside. Alright, Anto telling me to focus on Black Charizard at the start of lap 8. I will do so. Zelda and Black Charizard are quite a bit apart right now. Gin Tonics tries to go for the move on NTO. NTO himself trying to go for a move on JP. Jin is, I think, just trying to figure out what the two ahead of him are gonna do. JP and NTO. This is turning out to be a pretty feisty battle as well. The battle for the lead is, I think, it's been that way. Slavman has held to P1 pretty well. Morrison has not been able to make too many inroads. And the good thing, I think, is that these three are battling it out, but they're not losing a lot of time in doing so. JP has gone a bit wide there. He's going to open up the door for NTO, and I was told to switch over to Charizard's onboard. Are we going to see anything? Is this what I think it is? No, I saw some reports earlier on, so I think... No, the reports were for a different year, I'm sorry. Alright, so this is the start of lap 8 as per popular demand. We have Charizard's on board. Gin Tonics trying to go for the move on NTO, and I think Gin Tonics might be able to make it stick. Some timely braking will be doing it very good. Gin Tonics up into P5. NTO still there. This is a fantastic battle for P5. What's gonna happen here? Charizard and NTO. My word. Oh, he's tagged NTO, and that seems to be the end of that and the end of another drive. Oh my word. Talk about a chain reaction. Talk about a chain reaction there. My word. NTO has been tagged by by Charizard, and his race goes for a spin into the gravel, quite literally. And who is the other car? So there we see Charizard there, and that's Zelda, and that's Monkon. So quite a few drivers' race has been derailed there. So thank you NTO for pointing that out. I don't think you were particularly happy to mention that in the chat here. Charizard up into P7 after a little bit of contact. Joe Finn loses the rear end and dips his tire into the gravel and is now down to P8, losing a position to Schumacher. So the field it's anybody's game right now. It really is. Anybody could be in contention for the... I wanted to say win, but I've just looked at the gap. The gap between HK and JP is quite big right now. The midfield is stellar. You can see in the top right there. It's amazing to watch. The midfield battle is quite fun. Slavman is struggling to hold off Morrison at this stage in the race. As we start lap 9 of 10, are we going to see Morrison try to force Slavman to make a bit of a mistake here, or maybe try an alternative line through this first corner? Slavman still holds on to P1. HK is trying to, I think, just figure out his best options here. Morrison in the Purple Beast looks to be trying some alternative lines here. And we won't see Slav next week. That is unfortunate. That is unfortunate for Slav there. Morrison trying to go for the switchback, I think, on this corner. Will he be able to make it stick? Morrison gets a good exit, although they're going to be side by side. I think Slavman will still have the benefit. The inside line, which is pretty crucial, but Morrison has better grip and gets past. And HK looking to get past the Jag as well, but nope, HK has to stay in P3 for the time being. Further back, I must say, this battle's up and down the field. It's just, I don't know who to focus on. Should I focus on the battle for the lead? There's 3 cars. Do I focus on the midfield battle? There are about 10 cars right now, all in contention. So this is stellar to watch. P9 through to P4, they are all battling. It's what, 6 cars battling for P4 right now. It's Great to see the two Genesis guys, Gin Tonics and JP. Gin has gone a bit deep into that corner there. And Charles, oh my word, JP, oh, I think that's a scheduled pit stop for the Genesis driver, unless that was just trying to... for a moment it looked like JP lost the rear end and just decided to go into the pit lane in style. Charizard and Schumacher battling away. Charizard, I think, will lose the position to the Mercedes driver at this corner. Juho Finn trying to make some moves. Juho Finn should focus on getting a good exit here because Schumacher has gone bouncing over the curb. Charizard and Juho Finn. Wow, Juho Finn will be cursing right now. The Finns themselves don't curse, but they're not the most expressive, but I'm sure Juho Finn would have had a lot to say in that moment when he was forced off the track onto the grass. Schumacher has made the move on Charizard and I think he's made it stick. Charizard doesn't seem to be in a good this right now. He's trying some aggressive moves here, but I think Schumacher's got him covered off. Schumacher slightly off the circuit. That's going to open up the door for Charizard. He might send it down the inside. Does not send it down the inside. Juho Finn will be lining up a move. So will Moncon. Up front. It's too much to follow. My apologies if I'm missing some of the action there. Some of your battles, for those of you who are watching live or watching the replay later on. If I miss your battles with these guys, my apologies. But what's happened here? Moncon has gone very, very deep into the corners, lost the place to Juho Finn, battling with Juho Finn, and okay, so drivers are boxing, so we should see, okay, Schumacher into the box, Moncon into the box. They are relatively similar on their fuel levels, so the medium runners should be coming into the box. I expect HK to consider the undercut. Given that his tires are not in good nick right now, HK should really consider the undercut. I think it should have boxed this lap, HK, rather at the start of lap 11, in order to try and make the move on Slavman and Morrison, or Morrison. I think HK will, or at least should consider boxing this lap. As we exit the corner, Jin is a fair ways behind. Charizard in P5. Juho Finn takes to the grass. Zelda will have to hold on, hang on to the back of the McLaren for now. Let's have a look up front. I think that was either Jin or HQ just went over the curbing there a little bit too aggressively. We're about to start lap 12, so we are approaching half race distance. I expect to see some pit stops being made, especially HK should really consider boxing here. He's on the mediums, he can go into the hards. Unlike F1, we have no safety cars in GT7. HK will have to make the most of a strategy. Morrison boxes, HK stays out. Alright, so do whatever he doesn't do. I think that's Martin Brundle who used to famously say that in the late 2010s, early 2020s. He used to say that quite a bit. Morrison into the box, and Morrison no doubt is going to go onto the hard tires and refuel till the end of the race. Let's have a look at those who have not boxed yet. So Zelda, Juho Finn, Charizard. This is not sure. I think the battle for net P7 or P8, because the field spread is the dynamics have changed a little bit right now. Morrison and NTO. Okay, so Morrison has pitted and come out still ahead of NTO. But if I'm not wrong, Morrison went from the mediums onto the mediums, unless that's a visual bug for me. Morrison has gone from, he's made 2 pit stops onto the same compound, so I think Morrison wants to go onto the softs for the end of the race. Let's see how that goes for him. Abhi has not had a very good race. He's down in P11, he's not made his pit stop here. Schumacher has, and Schumacher is now at the chasing these two, Abhi and NTO. Up front, are we gonna see HK or Slavman box? HK's front right is in a pretty dire situation right now. Slavman might consider boxing. As we can see, Morrison has sort of come out in traffic. Slavman will be requesting in the nicest way possible for Tetropolis to hold off Morrison as much as he can. HK is coming into the box, Jin is coming into the box. Charizard stays out, Juhofin stays out, Zelda stays out, Adam boxes. Tetrapolis, I think Tetrapolis will have to stay out in order to help our teammate here. So Adam boxes, and Jin is also into the box. So I'm pretty keen to see what the tire situation is going to be like at the end of the race. I'm not really able to keep track of everybody's tires because there's a lot of stuff happening up and down the field. All Tetrapolis needs to do right now, I can see that he's on pretty old tires, but his teammate will be really just requesting him, please, whatever you do, try to hold up Morrison. Try to force him into making a mistake. Dive down the inside. Be the British Minister of Defense, similar to how Sergio Perez was acting in Abu Dhabi 21 all those years ago. Tetrapolis tries to go for the switchback, but Morrison has superior tires for now, although Morrison had a bit of a rear end snap there. Tetrapolis will try his best, but I think Morrison has him covered off for now. Slavman, I'm sure Slavman's gonna box on this lap as well to cover off the undercut that Morrison has made. Where has I'm just trying to figure out, HK has come out in the worst possible place right now. He's in the middle of a battling pack and he's on the softs HK. So slightly different strategies from those who were in the lead of the race, who were the leading pack, I must say rather. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see how everybody's strategies pan out by the end of the race. Moncon and NTO battling it out. So I see that Charizard now moves up into the lead. Tetrapolis into the box. Schumacher and Jin battling it out. I'm a little bit mixed up with everybody's strategies here. So I was expecting this to be a one-stop race, but it seems like quite a few have opted for a two-stop. I think maybe everybody's opted for a two-stop here. Slavman has come out ahead of Morrison. However, Slavman will have to do his final set on a final pit stop on going on to one of either the mediums or the hards. Morrison will do his last part of his strategy on the softs. I'm pretty almost certain of it. Slavman is being hassled by Zelda here. So Zelda, I think these guys are trying to go for a one-stop, possibly. Charizard, Jofin, Zelda, and I think it's also Schumacher maybe? No, Schumacher's already made his first stop. So this is the battle for the net lead of the race. Morrison versus Slavman, and ahead of them are those who have not made their pit stop yet. So let's see what comes of it. Morrison trying to get the best possible exit. Zelda boxes. Zelda is going to get rid of the hards at the end of lap 14, and I think it's going to be 15 laps to the end on the mediums, no doubt about it. So now Slavman has Juhofin and Charizard ahead of him. So let's see, it's really anybody's game here. Anybody could be in contention for the win here. Gin Tonics is in a good position here. He was in P4, I think he's now gotten up to P3 because HK has come out in a whole host of traffic. HK's strategy, HK's, I think the race has been derailed by that untimely pit stop there, unless I think HK got a puncture and had to take the final few corners a bit too slowly, which cost him time. HK into this left-hander braking zone. Are we going to see any moves being made here? HK versus Moncon, Abhi and Revolit. Alright, Abhi has been tagged slightly by the McLaren there. And alright, so neither of these guys are boxed. I think Revolit and Abhi have stayed out on this set. Moncon and HK are battling it out. What's happening up front? This is getting feisty. Slavman has got past. Alright, so I've missed quite a bit here, it seems. Morrison got past Juhofin, and Slavman is about to make a move on Charizard, and I think it's expected for Charizard to struggle here. He's on very, very old tires. Slavman goes for the switchback. No, sends it down the inside. There's some contact. Charizard has been sent off the circuit. There's Slavman also having to take, also losing the rear end there, and Charizard falls to P4. Juhofin moves up to P3 ahead of Charizard, and now it is Morrison in the lead from Slavman. So Morrison's work was made a little bit easier there by Slavman making contact with the BMW. As we start lap 16, we will have 11 laps to go once these drivers cross the line. Is anybody going to box? Charizard comes into the box here. I think that's a bit of a late call for Charizard. I think it was a direct result of the contact with Slavman. But now Morrison and Slavman battling it out. Slavman has the better tires right now. Will Slavman have to box again? I would assume he would. Morrison, I think, is on medium, so he will have to box again in order to fulfill the tire criteria that we have. Juhofin has done 16 laps on the mediums. I think it is safe to say that he can do the rest of the race on the softs, provided he pits now. Gin Tonic's trying to get past the McLaren, losing as little time as possible in the traffic. Schumacher in P5 has run out of his front right. Schumacher has got a puncture. Moncon and HK battling it out. HK's podium hopes seem to be dangling by a thread here. HK does get up into P6, but he's lost a lot of time. He's on the gravel. Moncon almost loses the rear end there. Tetrapolis, Revolut and JP are battling it out. Thank you. I just want to say thank you to T4 Blue. You guys have provided some stellar racing. I have no idea what to expect here. It's anybody's game. Anybody could be in contention for the win. Morrison will start lap 17. 10 laps to go. Start lap 17 in the lead. 10 laps to go. I ate up a word there. Juhofin stays out. Juhofin seems to love these mediums here. Gin Tonics is not able to get past Juhofin, although saying that, I think he might be able to do a bit of late braking here. Juhofin will defend it. He is well within his rights to do so. And going through the chicane here, Juhofin will obviously be on very old, worn tires, which will not provide him enough purchase and enough grip. And I think Jin will want to go down the inside. Juhofin will try to close the door for the Genesis driver. HK is a long way back. Gin Tonics brakes late. I think he's gone a bit too deep into that corner. He broke a bit too late there, Gin Tonics in the Genesis, and Juhofin hangs on to P3. I just hope for Juhofin's sake, the McLaren driver's sake, that he doesn't suffer the same fate that Schumacher did. Schumacher got a puncture midway through the lap, as we saw earlier on, and I think Schumacher's down in 13th. It's an unlucky P13 for Schumacher right now. This battle is getting feisty. JP, Zelda, Tetrapolis, and there's a little bit of contact between Tetrapolis and Zelda. JP looking to make the most of this contact. JP trying to go down the inside of Zelda. Tetrapolis trying to gain 2 positions in one go. So much to follow. Juhofin is gonna box at the end of lap 17, so we'll have 9 laps to complete on the softs. Slavman, I think Slavman has to box for fuel definitely. Juhofin, don't rule out Juhofin yet. Might be a pretty good result for the McLaren driver as well. Even if he's going to come out in a bit of traffic, I think those around him will have to consider boxing either for fuel or for tires at some point, given that they've been racing hard. Zelda is in a good position. Zelda has ample fuel and tires to get to the end. Slavman does not seem to be making too many inroads into Morrison's lead right now. Jin has lost a bit of time, stuck behind Juhofin. HK's podium hopes have almost been completely lost there after all that hard battling with the likes of, I think it's Tetrapolis, JP, quite a few drivers actually. Up front, I'm really keen to see what Slavman does. Slavman can consider boxing on this lap and going on to another set of softs. That should do him bode well for him. Where is Juhofin? Juhofin's currently P9 in free air right now. I say right now because look ahead. Captain Adam, JP and Tetropolis are right there, and they're all engaged in a great battle of their own. JP and Captain Adam almost came to blows there with the way JP's slight going wide moment happened. Let's see up front. Morrison still able to hold off Slavman. So Slavman has decided to go at least one more lap. Slavman will have to box for softs. Will have to box for fuel in any case. So I'm assuming it will be onto the softs. Don't rule out Jin yet either. Jin could still be within earshot of a possible P2 if he's been showing good pace here. HK's front right has disintegrated, shredded, gone. Said thank you very much. I'm gonna stop with these analogies here. HK has a front right puncture, and HK will have to complete the better part of half a lap at least, losing a lot of time. I think HK is just frustrated in that GTR. There is podium hopes have all but disappeared right now, and I don't think HK will put up much of a fight against Zelda. This is getting feisty. JP and Captain Adam. JP in P7 for the time being. Captain Adam looking to run an alternative line and get past the Genesis. I think might be able to do so. JP's tires are in pretty bad nick right now, and Juho Finn gets past Captain Adam, looking to get past JP. Slavman boxes with 1 unit of fuel left. Captain Adam in P9. HK will be boxing as well. Goes so deep into the corner. You can expect that when you're on such one tires. HK comes into the box. It's gonna be for softs. Jin is also into the box. He's also run out of tires. So it's soft tires going on to the likes of Slavman and Jin. HK will also go into the softs. Juho Finn moves up into, I want to say, net P4 possibly. Morrison, I think he's done medium, so I'm expecting Morrison to box on this lap for this lap, or maybe the next lap for softs. Zelda in P2. I think Zelda's completed the mandatory, gone from hards to mediums, I think. So Zelda should be in a decent position here. Slavman in P3. Slavman will be keeping a very keen eye out to see when Morrison boxes in the Purple Beast. Tetropolis in P4. So it seems to be a reasonable race for the Jag pair. Even if Tetropolis boxes now, I think he could still be able, should have a fighting chance of getting up to P7, I would say, maybe. Tetropolis, providing he boxes as early as possible so that he gets the maximum number of laps to try and attack those around him. Morrison has stayed out. I think, I'm not sure. Morrison does have a full sector gap, but does Morrison have to box? Because I'm pretty sure Morrison started the race on the mediums. NTO was on the hards. Yep, NTO was on the hards. So Morrison has gone from medium. I think Morrison, we are just waiting to see when Morrison boxes. Tetropolis in the Jag is coming into the box. JP as well. So is Captain Adam. And Shintonix is into P6. Charizard into P5. And yes, the McLaren is pretty good on the tires, and Johofin seems to be making the most of that. Zelda has a penalty to contend with. Slavman will be hoping to get past Zelda at the earliest available opportunity, which might be right now actually. Let's see. Oh, alright, thank you Anto. Thank you for that. Very useful information. I'm wondering what Morrison's trying to do here. I think then in that case we might expect to see Morrison coming into the box on this lap, because that would be 6 laps. I think it will be 5 laps, lap 22 to 26. Morrison should be in a good position here. Zelda will have to slow down for the penalty. Slavman has lost a bit of time, so it's going to be crucial. Morrison is coming into the pits, so who's going to be in the lead? Slavman has lost some time behind Zelda. Zelda obviously has the penalty, will have to slow down. Slavman moves up into P2. Morrison into the box. Morrison will take the exact amount of fuel that he needs to. Slavman has exited the last corner. Slavman is coming down the main straight. Morrison has fueled his car, and who's it gonna be? It is gonna be Morrison. However, I think Morrison has slightly less fuel than Slavman, so if Slavman was aware of that, Slavman would know that he can push a little bit more on fuel in regards to the Purple Beast. Zelda now down to P3. Juho Finn, I think, is in a pretty good chance of getting P3, and it seemed like it was going to be very close between Slavman and Morrison. That's why I was not exactly sure who would be in the lead, although yeah, Morrison seems to have done it pretty well. He's judged the strategy to perfection here. Morrison, well done. Slavman in P2. I think Zelda has completed the mandatory tyre set from hards to medium, so I think Zelda would not need to box again, unless for some reason Zelda wants to. Juho Finn is coming under some pressure from from Gin Tonics. I think Juho Finn would have quite a bit of an advantage in the corners here. Jin has gone a little bit wide there. Charizard is a little too far back to hassle Jin right now. Leader T. Morrison is about to start lap 23. 4 laps to go once he crosses the line. It's been a very up and down race. It's really in anybody's contention here. Alright, it's not in anybody's contention here, as per what Anto said, because Morrison is about to start doing quali lap after quali lap. Pole lap after pole lap, actually, I must say. Giving the appropriate respect, as Anto's mentioned there. Slavman, I think, is just settling into a bit of a rhythm here. Zelda and P3. I think then in that case we're going to focus on the battle for P4 right now. It's Juho Finn versus Jin. Charizard's a little too far back. NTO, speaking of, is on the mediums in P7. Should be able to get to the end of the race without too many issues. Jin tries to make the move on Juho Finn. I think the McLaren went a bit deep into the corner possibly, or maybe messed up his braking. Jin has been pretty good in this section. I think he'll be able to just line up a move for the run up to the double left-hander at the end of the lap. Yeah, Morrison's really building the gap here. I don't think there's anything that Slavman will be able to do right now. And HK has got the fastest lap, although I think Morrison's about to take that away from the GTR driver. Jin was not able to line up a move into this section, although might be able to do so for the next section of corners. Juho Finn in P4. He's had very good race management here as the McLaren driver. For the back, any moves, any battles? NTO chasing after Charizard. HK will be keeping a very keen eye out for his tyres so as to not run out of tyres by the end of the race once again, midway through the lap. Schumacher will be pushing right now. He's on the mediums, he knows that those around him are on the soft, so he knows he can push a little bit more on tyres right now. NTO currently P7 chasing after Charizard. NTO's tyres don't seem to be in great nick. With a bit of tyre management, I think NTO might be able to get to the end of the race. Gin Tonic's going for the switchback, but no, Juho Finn has it covered off for now, or does he? It's side-by-side action, Genesis versus McLaren, and I think Juho Finn will hold on to the position for now. And yep, the McLaren stays in P4. Gin Tonics stays in P5. Slavman and Zelda. Okay, Slavman has a little bit of a penalty to contend with here. Jin and Juho are actually great battle here. NTO saying that Dirty Air destroyed his tires. Well, unfortunate there for you, mate. I can see that your front right is giving out a desperate plea for help right now, almost by the looks of it. Charizard going a little bit deep into the final corner there in order to get a good exit. NTO doing something similar. HK will be feisty, although HK's softs I'm pretty sure will wear out quicker than NTO's mediums. This is the penultimate lap of the race. The Purple Beast is presently P1 and P7. So yeah, I think you guys are pretty happy with your choice of car, and I can't blame you for that. It seems to be a very all-rounded, well-rounded car, apart from the fact that... so was it the tires or the fuel? I think it's the fuel aspect of the Purple Beast that is prevented T. Morrison from doing the 6 laps on the softs. So let's see if Jin and Juho trade places. Charizard, I think Charizard is going to settle for P6 right now. Not a whole lot that he can do. NTO's got a penalty, and front right is just hanging on with the good hopes and good wishes right now. HK will be looking to nurse the tires home. This front right is in abysmal condition right now. It'll be pretty unfortunate here. Morrison has picked up the fastest lap, and I think he's about to do something similar on this lap, given by the comments that I see appearing on screen. And yep, I think Morrison's about to start the... he is on the last lap, Morrison. What a drive! P10 to P1. It's been dominant from Morrison here. Opening race, wins the feature, wins the sprint, and wins the feature. What a great way to start the season here. Zelda will be able to hang on to P3, I think. Juho Finn is not going to be under pressure from Gin Tonics for much longer. Jin has run out of tires, and actually Charizard might be able to get past the Genesis guy. Genesis driver, sorry. NTO is coming under immense pressure from Captain Adam, and I think NTO cannot do a whole lot in terms of defending against the Porsche. NTO does not have the tires to do so. Adam goes up into P7 but goes very deep into that corner. Even with a better exit from that corner, NTO was not able to get past Adam again. Jin has run out of tires. Charizard should be able to get him within the next few corners, but I think we're going to give a bit of airtime to Morrison. Let's just have a look here. Charizard versus Gin Tonics. Are we going to see a move being made on this section? We are not. Jin has managed to hang on. I'm going to give Morrison a bit of airtime here. What a drive. Purple Beast victorious in the sprint and the feature. Morrison wins the race from Slavman. Zelda finishes P3. I was not really expecting to see that. Great strategy by Zelda there. Juho Finn will be P4. Jin and Charizard, it's a photo finish. It's going to be side by side across the line, but I think Charizard will be ahead, or will he? Yup, Charizard barely finishes ahead of Gin Tonics. Adam in P7, NTO P8, Schumacher finishes P9, Tetrapolis P10. HK ran out of tires once again, finishes in P11. Abhi had a race to forget in P12. Moncon, after that early spin, could not, I think just lost momentum, finishes in 13th. Revolich finishes in 14th in the McLaren. JP's run out of fuel, gonna finish P15. And Khalif, it's been another race to forget for the Audi driver. It's the race to forget for the Audi driver. Finishes in 16th, the last of the running cars. And there you go. With that in mind, that is the end of the first round. Next up, we have the Nürburgring. And mind you, it's the endurance layout or the 24-hour layout. Which one is it? I'm not sure. But nonetheless, that would be a spectacle to behold. That will occur on Monday. But until then, thank you to all the drivers for providing us with such incredible action. Thank you to all the viewers who tuned in. Thank you to all of you. Thank you, Anto. Much appreciated. I will, once I get to know these cars and driver pairings better, I should be able to do a little bit better with every successive race weekend. But thank you for tuning in. See you soon. Until then. Thank you. Take care. Good night. And bye bye. Live long and prosper.